Welcome back to this free mini match betting masterclass. This video is part 3. If you haven't already watched part 1 and 2, I highly recommend you check those out before moving on. Now that you understand the basics, it's time to make some money. In this video, I'm going to walk you through placing your very first matched bet, even if you've never placed a bet before. The fastest way to make your first £100 is by completing 3 or 4 new customer offers and using those accounts to place other types of matched bet. Those offers can be things like bet 10 get 10 or bet £10 get £30 in free bets, but it's important that you know how to take advantage of them. You need to place a small qualifying bet to unlock the free bets and then use matched betting to turn those into a cash profit. If we repeat that a couple of times, you've easily made well over £100. We're currently working on bringing walkthroughs to Matched Betting Club for over 50 bookmaker and online casino offers, such as the following one: walkthroughs showing you exactly how to turn free bets into cash, maximizing your ROI from bookmakers you might not have even ever heard of. So I'm going to walk you through how a matched bettor should approach a new customer offer. Now, nearly every bookmaker out there has some sort of new customer offer, so you should never open a betting account without opting into the promotion first. But be aware, they often change up their offers from time to time, and some are better than others. Now, the example I'm going to go through today is Betfred, but the steps I explain are repeatable and they're applicable to every type of offer. So Betfred's new customer offer at the moment is £50 in free bets when you bet £10. I would always recommend reading the small print and stuff before signing up so you know exactly what you need to do. This one is relatively straightforward. Deposit £10, place a £10 bet at odds of evens or greater, and then be credited with 5 £10 free bets. 3 can be used on any sports bet and 2 to be used on accumulators. It's also worth pointing out that the accumulator must have 4 or more selections. Easy. So I'm going to hit claim here and then go through all the personal details sections, and I'll be back when we are through to the other side. Okay, so I'm nearly through to the end now, and it's just worth pointing out that you should check that the promo code has been applied here, because if not, you won't be entitled to the free bets. Okay, so I've just deposited £10 with a debit card like we said, and now it's time to find our first qualifying bet. Now, a qualifying bet is a bet that you place so you can qualify for the promotion. So in this case, we need to bet £10 at minimum odds of 2.0 in order to unlock the free bets. I'm also going to switch the odds format to decimals just so it's easier to compare in the next step. So now it's time to place our qualifying bet. I would always recommend doing this with horse racing, as there are races all the time and lots of horses to choose from. I've chosen this horse here, Percy Shelley, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the race is about an hour from now, so we have time to run through this, but also because of the odds. I would always recommend choosing a horse with odds between 4 and 7, as these will always give you the best results. Now, you might be thinking, if this horse loses, we're down £10 already. But that's where matched betting comes in. We're going to use a betting exchange to ensure we take as small loss as possible in order to unlock the free bets. This is known as a qualifying loss. If you haven't already, please watch part 2 of this masterclass, which explains exactly how betting exchanges work. So I'm going to hop over to Smarkets and put them side by side just so we can compare. On the left, we've got Betfred, and on the right, we've got Smarkets. Now, the Betfred bet wins if Percy Shelley wins the race, but we need to cover for if Percy Shelley doesn't win the race. So we're going to need to lay Percy Shelley, which is the blue side here. Now, you're going to want to make the return the same on both bets. That way, regardless of the outcome, we're going to get our £45 back. So it's a little bit of trial and error, and it's going to be around £9.19 is close enough. So our total outlay in this situation is going to be the £10 on Betfred here and the liability of $35.84 down here. Remember, it's the liability, not the stake on a betting exchange. That is our outlay. If you're unsure, go back to the second part of this mini masterclass and re-watch the exchange video. So that's a total of £45.84 outlay, and we know we're going to get back 45 or 45. So with a bit of basic maths, we can work out that we are going to lose 84 pence regardless of the outcome of the race. That is known as our qualifying loss. So I'm going to hit place on both of these right now, and I'll be back in 1 hour's time when the race has settled. So the race has finished, and as you can see, our horse lost, but that's fine. We guaranteed ourselves only an 84 pence loss in the last bit, so the good news is we have now unlocked our free bets. Now, since I recorded the last section, I was required to verify my identity just by uploading some documents, so you may or may not be required to do the same before you're credited with your free bets. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't. So all we're going to do now is to more or less repeat the process again. So I have another horse here. We're going to go with Warren Nabul, something like that. Once again, it's in our odds range, which we like, and we are going to use our free bets on this. So we may as well use the full £30 because we've got 30 on sport and we've got 20 on ACCAs, which we'll come to later. Now, as you can see, this returns 90. So we're going to hop over to our best friends markets, put them side by side so you can see. We've got our £30 free bet here. Make sure you tick this box, which returns £90. Then we're going to get the same horse here. Remember, the blue side is lay. Here's one I prepared earlier. We've got £21.43 in there to return £90. Now remember, this is a lay bet, so this will win if the horse fails to win the race. This one will win if the horse wins the race, so we're covering all outcomes. Remember, we always want to make our returns the same, so mine is 90. And we can see our outlay is our liability here, £68.57. Now, as these are free bets, these are not our real money. That's the only outlay, £68.57. So I'm going to hit place on both of these, and there we have it. So our £68.57 will return £90 regardless of whether the horse wins the race or not. So doing the maths quickly, and we will make a nice profit of £21.43. That leaves us with 2 bets to use on accumulators. We're still going to be using SmartKits, but this one is slightly different. Now, if you remember back when we were reading the terms and conditions for this offer, we know it's got to be minimum 4 selections. So I've added 4 teams down the side here. I've picked Arsenal, Osasuna, Aston Villa and Getafe. The reason I've gone for that is because it's around 5.63 odds. Now, as you'll see in a moment, if we went for any higher odds, the liability, so our outlay on SmartKits, will be much higher. This one is manageable. So we're going to stick our £20 free bets there, tick the box, put it in accumulator, because that's the type of bet we want to place. And as we can see, that returns £92.59. Once again, back over to our best friend SmartKits. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add all 4 of these teams with the green boxes this time. So we're going to add Arsenal first, then add Osasuna, then Aston Villa. Now I just want to point out, if you're doing this on mobile, you might be required to click add to multiple on your bet slip. That way you can create an accumulator. And finally, Getafe down there. So as you can see, I've put the green side. I've gone 4, 4, 4, 4 on all of our 4 teams. Then, because it's a multiple, we're not betting on these teams individually. You're going to go down here and yours might default to buy, highlighted green. We're going to click sell. Now, as you know, sell is the same as lay, and we're placing a lay bet. This wins here if all 4 of these teams win. And now this wins if any of these teams lose. So if the ACCA's a loser, then our SmartKits bet wins. If the ACCA's a winner, our free bets on Betfred win. So again, we're going to want to make the returns the same, £92.59, £9.85 to return £92.58. So those are about as close as we can get. Now our liability down here is £82.73. And similar to the last example, this is not a true outlay. This is not real money, not ours, all the bookies' money. So our outlay is just £82.73. So I'll hit place on this one, and I'll place this one too. Make sure, double check you're on sell. And the difference between our outlay of £82.73 and our return of £92.59 leaves us with around just under £10 profit, regardless of whether the ACCA wins or not. So before any of those races or matches finish, we can work out that between the £9.86 from that and the £21.43 from the horse earlier, we've just locked in £31.29. Now we just play the waiting game. We wait for all those bets to settle, and it's either going to be in our Betfred balance or our SmartKits balance. Then you can withdraw the cash to your bank account and enjoy the fruits of our labour. Now, I would follow those guidelines for any welcome offer that gives you free bets. The same process of backing and laying applies every time. I'm going to complete a few more welcome offers using the exact same methodology off camera, and I'll be back with a few more accounts. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the fastest way to make £100 is by completing 3 or 4 welcome offers and using those accounts to place other types of matched bet. Off camera, I completed a few more welcome offers, including Bet365 and Paddy Power. Bet365's offer was £30 in free bets, and Paddy Power's was 150 free spins. Now that I have a core base of accounts, I'm going to show you how to use those for other match betting methods. The coming up example is an example of an arbitrage bet, like I showed you in part 2 of this masterclass. So I just received a notification from the Match Betting Club community of an arbitrage opportunity, so I'll go ahead and place that now. Now I'm recording this before the start of the season, hence the Champions League qualifying match, but we've got Ludogorets to qualify over on Bet365 and Ferencvaros to qualify over on Paddy Power. This is to qualify for the next round, not to win in 90 minutes, so it's impossible for it to be a draw. Now this is quite a mainstream market, so I'm comfortable placing a slightly higher stake than I probably usually would. £100 on Paddy Power returns £150, and a £50 stake on Bet365 returns £162.50. Therefore, if Ludogorets qualify for the next round, I will profit £12.50. If Ferencvaros take the win, I will break even. Of course, you could manipulate your stake in order to secure a profit regardless of the outcome, but I fancy my chances on this one. The pot is now almost up to £100 with honestly hardly any work, as you've seen, so we can stop the stopwatch there. I'll also go ahead and place the next match betting opportunity that I received from Match Betting Club, which should hopefully tip us over the edge. I hope you found this mini tutorial helpful, and I'll be answering any of your guys' questions down in the comments. My number one tip is to track your results from day one. It's a perfect habit to get into. Tracking all of your bets helps you to remember which bookmakers you've used, but also visualize your profit building up. We've created this free spreadsheet, which will be linked below somewhere, which you can download for free or copy, which is perfect to input your bets. You now have the blueprint to get you started, but this is just the beginning. Once you've completed all the easy welcome offers, there's a whole host of ongoing offers, reload bets, bet clubs, and other match betting techniques that I've yet to get into. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to stay under the radar and protect your accounts so you can keep on making money in the long term. See you in the next video.